All right, so today's video, we are watching a Diamond 2 support on PlayStation playing Wuyang and Illari. And they say, hey, when Wuyang first released, I instantly jumped from Plat straight to Masters. And honestly, at the time, it felt like I didn't belong there, which was confirmed a season later. Since then, though, I've managed to consistently hold myself in Diamond. Stat-wise, this is one of my strongest games recently, but especially on defense, it still felt incredibly challenging. I tried my best to keep our team alive, but I have to admit that whenever my tank plays Doom or Wrecking Ball, I really struggle with positioning and often don't fully understand what my role should be during fights. A lot of the time, I end up just spamming shots without much thought. The match ended with my tank complimenting me, which I'm grateful for, but I still wish the game had felt smoother overall. If you could give me some pointers on positioning and maybe explain what separates my gameplay from that of a master player, I'd really appreciate it, since I do hope to reach that rank again. All right, cool. We'll see how this Wuyang game goes. I mean, I will say you did mention that you spent a lot of those games when you have like a Doom, like just spamming out. Yeah, that's normal. That's honestly like one of the best things you can do when you have comps that aren't like what you would kind of like those kind of like ground tanks, you know, Ramantra, Rhine, Sigma, etc. Adding spam damage in only helps like your Doomfist and your Wrecking Ball finish kills. So if that's what you're doing, then that's probably going to be right, because any spam damage you do only helps solidify a kill for those tanks. Like imagine, you know, if you're a Doomfist or a Wrecking Ball and I'm going into the back line and my Wuyang is doing just enough damage for me to get a kill right away. Like how often do Doomfists and Wrecking Balls, you know, get out with like, you know, 30 HP, but they, you know, they almost kill the elim. I mean, they almost get the elim on somebody, right? So that spam is the correct way to do it, but we'll see how you play. I can see you're going for some set spam spots here. I respect it. Okay, there you go. There it is. Now let's see how much that does. Okay. I mean, that's pretty cool, by the way. I like that. I never even thought about that. Okay, I gotta say, listen, outside of you getting absolutely rolled right there, that was pretty cool. I don't even think about that sometimes with Wuyang, so that's for anybody playing Wuyang. Figure out some of those spam spots. Look at the L charge from just like doing that spam up in the air. You could hear the shots hitting as they went. I'm gonna be real with you here. You don't need to play statue. Maybe it's just me, but like playing statue doesn't really make sense for Wuyang here, because your hero is like this would make more sense, right? Like you have your heal up on your Doomfist beforehand, and then like you go here, and then you spam, because this is like a weird sightline where you're gonna have to back away twice, and there's a widow up here. So I would say after you do your spam, exit out this way and then go this way. I don't think you need to be at statue, in my opinion. If you're running maybe like a ground comp with like a Reinhardt there, or like maybe like a, you know, something different, I can maybe justify that. But I think against that, you just don't want to play statue. Granted, I will say this is just a good shot by Zen also. Like, believe it or not, like really good Wuyangs will, I think if you want to, again, this is a little bit different of timing, but I think I watched might have been Cho Wrong about sometime last year on Wuyang, I think it was. And maybe it was a different support player. But like, the thing is like, it's okay to be really far back and spam, as long as your abilities are being used on people, which again, you're not going to use your wave too aggressively a lot of the time. You kind of use it as a self-peel. So like, as long as you kind of have your heal on somebody, like, you know, even the Doomfist, and you're playing angles, spamming's a good idea. Like, you're going to be able to do a good job with that. So, you know, just a kind of a note there. Like, this is fine. I mean, you're just going for the spam. You have the... I'm kind of curious now. Okay, you're doing it right. Just a reminder to anybody, like, new to Wuyang. I've shown it in some other Wuyang VODs, but remember that, like, you eventually want to release the shot. This Wuyang is doing it most of the time. You want to release your shot a little bit sooner than you think you would, otherwise your shots will be, like, you'll be too accurate. So, you know, you get the spam damage. Like, see what I mean? Like, look how far away you can be with your wave. Like, truthfully, you're not doing, like, anything that I would say is super wrong right here. I mean, unless I'm missing something, like, this is normal Wuyang play. Like, you're playing back, you're spamming in. Like, this is kind of normal. For what you do, you keep your support alive. Like, if you want to know that you're doing some stuff right, you are. Now, again, you wanted to know, like, what will differentiate you from, like, a diamond to a master player. And, like, sometimes, honestly, like, it could just be a matter of playtime. So far, everyth's been fine outside of, like, a positional mistake at the beginning of that statue, but that's it. So. I'm okay with that. Obviously, you know, maybe a better communication with you and the Ana there. Again, but I know it's ranked. There's no guarantee you get communication every game. So I would say either way, that was a good out. Yeah. And the double nano kind of worked out in your favor. I mean, you won a team fight. By the way, again, don't be afraid to like let go of the orb a little bit sooner sometimes. Sometimes you're actually you're doing what I used to do sometimes on it, where you were trying to be too accurate with it. Don't be afraid to like stop the orb a little bit sooner. Most of the time you're not doing it, but even like sometimes you could do it even more. So it's a very small like note there. Again, my Wuyang abilities are something. Like the way I play Wuyang. I don't play a ton of Wuyang. But very fun hero. But so far, I mean, yeah, like you're doing mostly right here. I'll see how that continues. Also, perk selection-wise, I'm not as experienced on Wuyang perks, so per usual, I always do this. I invite people to maybe post in the comments about what your perk selections are, what you find useful. Again, as I always say, I have no problem with people adding extra tips in there. I'm going to miss things sometimes, and I think, the overall goal is everybody gets better. So if you play Wuyang and you see things I miss, definitely, let us know, because helps me also improve with these too. Yeah, I mean, like, most of what's happening right now is like you're doing pretty much what you can do. There's constant spam, which is annoying to play against. Like, look at your damage output. You have 3,700 damage. That's really good for Wuyang, right? Like, that's really good for Wuyang. You're playing back. You're keeping your support alive. You're switching your heal to your Doom when need be. They have a perk right now. You would suggest picking a perk? True. You take the healing one? Okay. I like Triple Orb. I do know that one. I usually pick that one, but yeah, I don't know specifically what's the meta ones.
Step rider.
I think what you could Wuyang out your cast. If you do that when they go for your cast, then I'll be happy here. Okay, you know what? That was a weird timing. You're fine. That was a weird timing. I still would have tried to maybe Wuyang ult him, but you would have had to do it sooner. So I think like one thing I want to point out is generally in a rank game there, like a Wuyang player wouldn't have a problem like basically giving the ultimate to the Cassidy there to kind of like add some chaos to the team fight. Kind of one of those 1A, 1B situations. Like, I'm not going to like sit there and be like, hey, always pop it on the Cassidy there. But in a 3v3 and them kind of being in a weird spot where they're not able to win the team fight yet, I kind of like the odds of keeping the numbers up. Actually, it would have been a 4v3 technically. I like the idea of keeping your teammate up there for a little bit longer. And yes, like they can still die through that, but I think it adds a little bit of a dynamic. But it could be hindsight and you end up making a play here and it all works out, right? So we'll see. Like it's still fine that you use your ult aggressively. I think you could have maybe used it aggressively there. Still, I don't know. It's like probably a 70-30 play at that point. As in like it still could not work, but yeah. Either way, we'll see how this goes. Could have also maybe saved it for your Doomfist, but I think your Doomfist maybe didn't tell you he was almost back to the point, so. Not really, like, that was just kind of one of those, like, quicker decision-making team fights. Don't be afraid to be aggressive with Wuyang Ultimate. Heck, even, if you want to use it on yourself to be aggressive sometimes. I mean, there's some Wuyangs, even in pro play, who are known to be pretty aggressive with that Ultimate when, Wuyang is played. Although Wuyang doesn't get much play time nowadays. Still gets banned sometimes, though, because there's a couple of maps and comps. We'll see you went with the Triple Orb. Doing some good damage. I mean, your damage output's excellent. Like, if you look at it, you technically are about to have the most damage in the lobby. Like, literally, you and Doom almost have the most damage in the lobby. So, you're doing it right. You're doing it right. Well, WCS drop starts in about an hour. Knowing your teammate when you need to, like So it's hard to like say to go do other stuff. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like unless I'm missing something crazy right now. From a perspective of like, what will you do to change some of these team fights? Outside of hitting more orbs on people, it feels like your team just kind of lost as a team and won as a team there. Like that was like basically the whole trend of that whole sequence. This has been actually solid Wuyang play. Maybe you could be a little bit more aggressive with your wave. Maybe if like they're not diving you, but like there's a Sombra, so you have to use it like defensively. Like maybe that's the only thing I could like see. And obviously hitting more spam, but like your spam, I mean, look at the stats. I mean, you're literally, that's a very well balanced Wuyang in there. Like your healing's gonna be as limited as it is, right? So we'll see. Now that was a Rhine, so maybe this will kind of change things. Oh yeah, you can't do damage. That's okay. I mean, definitely a hero you got to figure out the aim on. That was a good usage of your wave. Reminder for anybody new to Overwatch, the wave will activate like you'll see like your teammate's HP bar will turn yellow. So like you can't see it right now because the Rhine died. Basically, that just increases healing on the Rhine for that majority of time. Same thing with Nana Grenade. It basically just increases your healing for every source of healing at that point. So it'd be nice to have. Like right there, see that? When it turns to that, that just means there's increased healing for the majority of that stuff for. So, yeah. So obviously using that, but again, I don't really have too much. Like it's rare because usually there's a lot of like crazy mistakes that happen. It could just be more along the lines of you need to be a bit more aggressive with your ults and be more like willing to make an aggressive play than to kind of, I don't know, that's probably what it's gonna be. Good kill. Good wave. Even positioning. Top left, you hear somebody, unless that's your teammate. Am I misunderstanding what I'm hearing? Top left? Okay, I was right. There is literally somebody top left. So, like, this is an example where I would like you to look top left to be able to help whoever your teammate is up there. Having that extra second of Wuyang heal might be enough to keep your teammate alive. Because there is a BAP top left. So, just a reminder on that. Don't, like, right here. This is where I think will be the make or break difference in what your decision is. Not be afraid to Wuyang ultimate your Reinhardt right now. Like, give your Reinhardt this, like, really crazy, like, advantage, and or make their Rein force to use Shatter. This is the type of aggressive plays that I think you want to make as Wuyang. I could be wrong, obviously, on how this will play out, but I think being aggressive here to help your Rein kind of, like, force their Rein into, like, an error, this would be a good idea, because if you try to save your teammate through a window, like when they use their window here with like the Bastion, your team's going to fall over. But if you use it aggressively, it's going to cause them to make a mistake. So we'll see. We'll see what your decision making is. Perfect. This is what I mean. Like, that's exactly what you're supposed to do there. The only problem that you've had here, and it doesn't even like affect your team here, it looks like, is you kind of ignored the BAP up on high ground. So like, if there's one take I can have out of that is you played that good. But you have to be really careful of, like, leaving that BAP behind you and almost dying to the BAP. That can, like, backfire if, like, say that BAP gets 2 kills. Now their team has a really good retake. So, great use of your ult. Good aggressive play. I like it. So. Good job. Now you're on to the next point. This is excellent. Oh, that was close. Nice try. What rank? They're in Diamond, and they're wondering like if they can get to Masters. Everything thus far, I think you can get to Masters. Straight up, I legitimately think you can get to Masters from what I've seen. The only thing I want you to be wary of, and this is because you wanted some like anything I can give you. You see that moment where you're spamming up on high ground? I want you to think of sightlines. That's how you get one shot by like a Widow or something. Like if you stand in the middle of the open like that. Again, it's a very small note, but like can be very helpful. Great use. I mean, look at that. A Brig ultimate with great peel. Try to heal your Bastion a little bit more. I mean, I know I've been saying a lot of good things about your gameplay here, but like there has been a lot that you have kind of done super wrong. Same concept here. Big slam. Don't be afraid to be aggressive later on with Wuyang ultimate, which again, as I'm calling that, you already use it. Understanding what to go for here. Yeah, not bad. Obviously, they hit a good shot on your teammate. Ryan's like not super meta, but he's like still good, Okay, I guess this is where I can give you a little bit of feedback. Generally in this situation, what you can do to improve a little bit on this scenario is start to only spam up on, and again, this is like very minimal. Like you can get away with doing what you're doing now, but don't be afraid to start spamming out that's what I was gonna say. Don't be afraid to start spamming out these 2 high grounds, even if you're not getting results. Like if say I'm playing up here as BAP and I just see a bunch of water orbs coming at me, same with Widow, you have to, like, you basically cause a lot of frustration for these heroes. So, like, if I'm playing up here as, like, a Widow in, like, a top 500 game, which, by the way, if I'm on Widow in a top 500 game, I don't know what's happening. The point I'm making is, like, if you're getting spammed out by a Wuyang that you can't even see, that's going to be really frustrating, and any bit of splash damage you do is going to really slow down their gameplay. So, this is those moments where rather than kind of go spam heavy on, like, the D.Va here, which, again, it's not, like, the worst option, but I think that in order to really, like, you know, overtake a game, making the decision to spam out these high grounds will make it a lot easier for your team. This map becomes very Widow dominant on third, like sniper dominant, and I think that's a really good opportunity for you to be able to kind of make plays off that. So you have 100 more hours for that. This is the match, about 50 minutes. Yep, and we'll be watching it. So I think that's a little bit of advice I can give on that, is I think try to spam them off those high grounds. Don't give them opportunity there, force them to the low ground, and you know, it seems like you're pretty good at long range spam, so I think that would be the way to do it. Yeah, I mean, great job getting away from the develop, for sure. Try that, I would say. It's not even that spam and main's bad. I just like the better option of going high ground with the spam. Like, make that BAP feel like you can't go up there. Then when you get positioned in, start going for the Widow now. Like now, go for the Widow on high. Because if you go for the Widow on, there you go. Yes, and keep doing that. Like the thing is that there you go. Team goes up there and follows up the kill. You have a window, so just be careful of the D.Va. Excellent. Use the self heal. Position is looking solid. Like, this is good gameplay. Downside is the BAP. You did lose track of the BAP again, and I don't know. I feel like, am I wrong to say that was just a good play by the BAP more than it was a bad play by Wuyang? I would have probably went into the side of the horseshoe area, like I would have maybe like went into. I mean, I call it horseshoe, but like people call it whatever you want to call it, like this little side room with the health pack. But I think like that was good, yeah. Reversing the tide there. Great job. Remember the Widow spam? Good splash damage on point. I'll read what you said there in a second. Great job. Excellent. You have very good, like, it's very clean. Your positioning is good too. You know, Wuyang play about you personally, they can play a little bit more independently of the team positionally. You just feel like they're adding a lot of damage to the team. They had. Yeah, I mean, it depends. Like, Kings Row third point can be tough to go like yes, you know. Is there better spots they could go to? Yes. At the same time, I don't know, like, I even when I play in, like, ranked, I see Wuyang's kind of play with their Ana to make sure their Ana never dies. Although they did swap to Moira, so maybe once they went Moira, you could go to a different position. It's hard to call on that one, because I feel like it was, like, they were in a pretty good spot, and, like, I don't think they need to, I guess you could be more aggressive on those angles, or, like, go to a different, like, go towards, like, the other side of the map. But at the same time, as long as you're spamming the right spots, like, it can kind of net the same results. But yeah, it's a lot of minimal stuff like on how to fix that. We're watching. This is currently a spectating of a player in Diamond on console, trying to figure out if they can get to Masters. Which I think they can still get to Masters from what I've seen so far. Now, granted, you know, maybe what ends up happening to games is that the synergy with Wuyang isn't quite there. So what happens is you might lose games if you force the hero for too long, right? That could happen. But again, I mean, I've seen people play, you know, only one hero and be in top 500 all the time. Like, you know, pretty much every character, so. I guess this is where, you know what, like, and this is a good point. This is where you could have broke off over to here somewhere and, like, went, like, around here. This could be kind of fun. If you wanted to, you could have broke off to the high ground and went up to here, right? You could have done something like that when you were kind of stuck here in the middle. Like, this was an opportunity for you to make a play to kind of reposition. And then you could be really annoying. They don't have much they can get to you either, so, like, recognizing the heroes they have, that could have been an opportunity. Again, like, it's a small, like, decision there, but, you know, it is a good point to kind of be a little bit more, like, a little bit more, if they're not, you know, take the space they give you, and I think that could have been an opportunity. Because you don't need to be here now when you have the Moira. Like, you don't have to self-heal for the Moira as much as you would an Ana. So, like, you know, where you would typically have an Ana Wuyang a little bit more, like, near each other. Here, like, your Moira is going to be a bit more self-sustained, which means that you can take more angles and high grounds on that if you would want to. And then you can kind of reposition. Kind of like this. See how you aggressively take this, like, aggressive angle here? Do the same thing, but, like, when you get stuck at chokes like that. So far, so good, though. I mean, like, you're doing a good job. Obviously, you can give the ultimate to your Moira, which I don't mind. Great usage of the ult. Excellent. Obviously, you're kind of forced into that ult because it's overtime, but that was good. You can use your Perfect. Yeah, I mean, that was well played. I mean, even to like understand that you weren't going to be able to survive against that, like that was, you had to be risk reward during that Mizuki ultimate. You played it well. Good heals. Yep, heal him up as much as you can. Then go into spam mode. Obviously, you lose your tracer, which is a little bit unlucky. Up on high. Yeah, spam the bath. Yes, and then worry about that right now. Yes, there you go. Perfect. Excellent. That's great target focus. For anybody wondering why that's a good play is because, again, the BAP is the one getting the value on the high ground, so denying that space of the BAP is going to force BAP into a rough spot, which now BAP is putting a window in a spot that's a little bit more... No, it's not that they would have the window there, it's more that they had to be in a more aggressive spot, and then they do that, and then they get no value out of their window, and you end up winning a team fight. So, like, again, excellent decision-making. Just remind yourself of that moment when you go, like, when you play Wuyang in the future, is to keep doing that type of play. Keep spamming those high grounds, keep making those aggressive type of approaches, and I think you'll see good results. Okay, healing up. Okay, you're gonna want to use this on your Doom or Genji. Once you get it, if you get it. Or if you stay in the, yep. Yeah, all right. Saw that one happening. Yeah, that's a rough one. That's a miscommunication there. Real talk, in the future, when that happens, I say you just send it to the point and hope for the best. Like, you could have saved maybe the Wuyang ultimate for yourself, but like I was seeing the same thing that you were seeing. They just made a really good, fast, aggressive play. But like that was going to be a rough one. I'll be honest with you. Like that was basically you need your Doom to stay on point there, but your Doom was being aggressive at the same time, so it ended up being unlucky. I think that was just an unlucky, good play by their team. Granted, there was a way to play around that, but that comes with like good team communication. Or recognizing they were going to be aggressive. Anyway, you're on Illari now, so we'll see how you play this. Pylon, good job readjusting it. Remember, always put your pylon on the spot that's a little bit harder to kill. That can be easy to kill soon, so I want you to readjust the pylon now. No complaints. Good job. Yeah. Now your position, by the way, you're starting to slide over to the left here. This is going to kind of get you in a bad spot. Okay. The Diva recognized it. Thankfully, you were able to, use your correct cooldown to get out, but don't slide that way because eventually that Diva can take advantage of that. Plush, thank you for the, or Plushy, thank you for the prime sub. Thank you. Yeah. Damage output's there. Pylon's doing damage. So far, so good. Also, just to point out your damage output, I mean, I just want to show chat, like, this is what I mean about, like, really well-balanced Wuyang gameplay. Look at the current stat line right now. Obviously, a little bit of extra heals now from the Illari, but literally 15,600 damage, 16,800 healing. That is very, very good stat line for playing the heroes that you've been playing. With a low, yeah, exactly, with a low death count, too. I mean, that's what I'm saying, like, your positioning is, like, prestige. Most of the time, right? Not all the time. I actually think your Illari position is actually a little bit worse than your Wuyang one, because you're kind of... You're not doing a bad job, but just you think about what their cooldowns are going to be like to get to you, so don't, like, put yourself in a spot where they can run at you and kill you is what I'm getting. All right. Good job of waiting on the ult. If your teammate can survive during this, now pop your ult now. Perfect. You could have done it a little bit further back. I know it's like a very small note, but good idea. Great ult. Great play. Free Zen kill. I mean,
Let me see.
like I said, like, first of all, I'll give you one bit of feedback. Just remember to be a little more spam heavy on the high grounds, and also, as somebody had mentioned, like, don't be afraid to take a bit more of an angly approach, especially when you, like, don't have a support you need to kind of, like, make sure to keep alive, like an Ana. So think about those moments. Again, with your ultimate, I want you to think back to that Cassidy moment. You wanted to talk about, like, a slight difference in, like, a Diamond in a Masters game. I find that as you keep climbing, you're going to see that players are more willing to use their ultimates. And even though that was a very small note, that's the difference between holding second point and not holding second point, right? Those are like, to climb, you need like, what, an extra 2% win rate? That's where you can kind of get that extra 2% win rate, is by being more aggressive with your ultimates, even though you were pretty good with your ultimates to begin with. It's just like very small notes, but obviously you want to improve. Even a small note of improvements there. But there was very good ones there on that one. Illari was fine. Be careful of like, slide in your position into where, like, they can get to you in one singular cooldown. Yes, you got away with it once, But like that's like, you know, imagine you use your outburst to back away being that aggressive, but then you get one shot by a Zenyatta, right? Again, be careful with that, as well as your starting position on Wuyang on King's Row. Overall, though, you wanted to know, I mean, basically, can you be in Masters? Yeah, I would say that if you keep playing like that and you keep just making those small improvements, you should be Masters in no time. I'm serious. Like that was very good gameplay. Positioning was good. Aim was looking good. You know, just a little bit of the small notes that we gave you, and I think you're going to be in Masters in no time. I could be wrong, but I think if you pick up on a couple of things, you're going to be good to go. All right, you got this. You absolutely got this. If you like the video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube if you haven't, leave a comment, all that helps. Or if you want to submit your own, my Discord's where to do that. And if you want to watch another one of these spectatings, click this link over here. It's going to be a good one. With that being said, I hope you all have an amazing day/night.